All right, guys, let's check out this video. Andrew Tate going off for like 20-ish minutes compilation about what? Who knows? Some mind Aikido, apparently. Let's check this out. I'll give my thoughts in here on some of this stuff and on Andrew Tate and whatnot. Let's jump into it.
There's a version of you that never sleeps in, never skips training, never wastes time.
True.
There's a version of you who never fails. It is
Better
waiting for
version.
you.
Waiting for you.
Genuinely ask yourself a question.
Genuinely.
If you had done those things for the last 2 years.
This is a good point. Obviously, I feel like I know where he's going to go with this, but this is a huge point. And if you were consistent, like if you actually did the stuff that you need to do, if you actually did it every single day or as consistently as necessary, how far ahead would you be? Like you said, genuinely ask yourself the question, picture it, think about it. How far, where would you be today? The best part, the best way to start, the best day to start, was 2 years ago. Best time to start was 2 years ago, but the next best time is literally today. Okay, let's keep going here.
You never skipped a training. You never wasted time. You never scrolled TikTok. You never sat aimlessly on the internet typing in garbage, never played video games. You never wasted time. You never skipped training. You were training every single day. You never slept in. You were never lazy. There's this version of you. Imagine the person you would be. Genuinely imagine what you would look like. Imagine where you would live. Imagine the car you would drive. Imagine how much your woman would respect you. Imagine the love you would see in her eyes when she looks at you with adoration like a king. Imagine your existence. That person is waiting for you, and the only thing that's stopping you from being that person is your monumental laziness. You can have it.
Is your monumental laziness. Oh my. He makes me laugh sometimes the way that he talks is. I think it's funny. But, okay, let's get into this though. I 100% agree with this. 100%, 100 million percent agree with this because this is like something that I've done too for myself, and I'm still continuing to grow. I wish I would have started earlier, right? But I started a few years ago, and like really, really trying, really, really working on stuff. And holy crap, like compared to how I was just a few years ago, like I'm basically unrecognizable compared to who I was. The way that I think, the way that I carry myself, the way that I look, right? Everything is completely different and better. Way better. So much better. I can't even really put it into words. But this is kind of my main message too, is that you could do that, right? And that's why sometimes I like to react to the Andrew Tate videos because I am 100% in line with that. I 100% believe in that. Let's jump back into it. I'm going to stop going on my tangent here.
This is very giving. It will give you anything you work for. I've never seen somebody try for something with all of their might and not get it. The only people who do not have the things they want are the people who do not try for them. I've never seen a person wake up and say, my only dedication in life is to solve a Rubik's Cube and fail. You are not stupid. You are not incompetent. You are lazy and arrogant. It's extremely important you understand that that person is waiting for you, and you are declining that version of yourself. In the multiverse, in the many different versions of the universe that exist, there is a version of you that does those exact things, and he is a greater person than you can even fathom. You can transform yourself into that guy. You can be a top G. That's exactly what I did. I knew who I was going to have to end up being before I became that person.
Okay. Let me jump on that really quick. He knew who he had to be before he became that person. This is one of the key things. Most people don't even know where they want to go or who they want to be. This is one of the big issues, right? People will say like, oh, I want to be successful. Oh, I want a lot of money. It was like, well, why? And what does success mean to you? And it's going to be different for everybody. So he was able to be very clear on what that meant for him so that he could attack a certain direction relentlessly, right? And I think that a lot of people lack that clarity is one of the big issues. And so if you don't have the clarity of where you want to go, how are you going to get there? Because you're going to just be walking around in circles not knowing even what direction. You're going to be going in the wrong direction. Okay. So that's huge. And a lot of people too, they think that they're going in the right direction, but really they're not. It's not who they want to be. It's not the character that they are looking towards, the one that they admire, the one that they respect, the one that they want to be. They're living by somebody else's standards. So that's another big issue that you need to break free from, is you have to stop living by other people's standards or expectations of what that future version character, best character, like he says, of you looks like and acts like and is. You have to go by your own compass of what that means. Let's go back into it.
My brother and I are not from rich families. We are not from advantaged beginnings. But I knew I had to be a big, strong, fighting billionaire. That's what I knew I had to be. Discipline is the key to success. If you cannot force yourself to do something you don't want to do, how are you ever going to put yourself through the suffering required for greatness? If you cannot force yourself to train when you do not want to train, if you cannot force yourself to work when you don't want to work, if you can't force yourself to not log into Pornhub or force yourself to eat right, how can you possibly ever become a monumentally successful person if you cannot control yourself long enough to do what must be done as opposed to what you feel like doing? The only people who get to live their lives based on how they feel are women and children. Children can cry because they feel like crying, as can a woman. A woman can start an argument because she feels like arguing, as can a child. A man must do what he is supposed to do irregardless of how he feels. That is the key component to masculinity, is discipline. If you do not have the discipline to dedicate yourself to anything, you are going to fail and be crushed by the people who can. If you only go to the gym when you feel like going to the gym, you're never going to be as strong as the people who go to the gym when they don't feel like going to the gym. That is a reality of life. So, I train every single day. I've actually heard from some people saying, you overtrain.
Shut up, bro.
One, I don't believe in rest. I'm not you. I'm not pussy. And I'm not broke.
I'm not you. I'm not a pussy. I'm not broke.
People for $50 an hour. I don't need to listen to you. Secondly, I don't train because I want to get bigger. I train every day because it is difficult to train every day. It hurts. I don't want to. I wake up and I'm busy. I have other things to do. I don't feel like doing it. So I force myself to do it 7 days a week, 365 days a year, so that I know I'm the kind of person who can do what he doesn't want to do when it needs to be done. I am that man. And it is more of a mental exercise than a physical exercise at this point. How can you ever outcompete me if I can force myself to do the things I don't want to do and you cannot? Discipline is absolutely essential for success, and you need to get very comfortable and very used to the...
Really quick. Let me interrupt. Sorry, Andrew. But his points here are really good. Really, really good. Because, and I don't want to go... He's going into it, so I don't need to go into the discipline thing. But the emotional control is the biggest factor, right? Like you said, it's more of a mental exercise than a physical exercise. He trains every single day, which is crazy. Every single day, 365 days a year. Now, imagine if you took that discipline to something like building a business, or you took it to fitness, or you took it to building your mentality, or whatever it is that you're working on, and you did not fail, and you did not miss not even one time, right? So that's what he's getting at. And it's, like he said, women and children get to dictate based on emotions. But you, well, if you're a man watching this anyways, men have to have emotional control, right? It's not, we say like men can't cry or men don't cry. But it's not about not feeling emotions. It's not about being emotionless. It's about a control over emotions, right? It's about, is it appropriate to cry right now? Is it appropriate for me to cry, at this time? Or do I need to be the strong one? Do I need to set the example and say, this may be a hard time right now, but I am in control still, and I will help us get through this, right? That's what a leader does. That's what somebody, as a leader of a family, has to do, right? And that's what the man is. So let's jump back into it, but these are all really good points.
The idea of understanding that on your path to greatness, there are going to be long periods of time where you hate what you are doing, where you are dissatisfied with the actions you must undertake, where you are tired, where you are stressed. That is why it is difficult.
Sorry, I'm a little sick, so
most people won't make it. If the path was easy, everybody would walk it and it would lead nowhere. 100 people
So
start the
good,
path,
right there.
99 fall off because it is difficult, and the one person who makes it to the end gets the gold. If all 100 made it to the end and the gold was divided by 100, it wouldn't even be worth anything.
Yep.
The difficulty gives it value. The fact that
difficulty
it's difficult to do
gives it
is the key
value.
component into the fact you want it in the first place.
Things that you get for free and are easy to access have far less value. It's the scarcity that gives it value. And there was something else that he said. I can't remember what it is right now. So let's go.
If it wasn't difficult, everyone would have it, and you wouldn't want it because no one would respect it. It's supposed to be hard. Life is supposed to be hard. You're supposed to think this is terrible. You're supposed to suffer and smile through the pain regardless. Discipline is the key to success in all realms as a man. And if you lack it, you stand no chance. You can give most people a roadmap to success. You can give them a Ferrari with a full tank of gas, and a lot of people still wouldn't make the destination because they would say the drive is too far away. Quitters, they don't have the discipline. You can tell them exactly how to do it. You can give them the mechanism to get there, but they don't have the discipline to complete the drive and end up at the destination. That is the majority of Earth. This is your competition. People who, even if they are told what to do, and people tell them exactly how to do it and help
This
them
is
do it,
so true.
still quit.
It would amaze you. It would amaze you, and it constantly astounds me at how much people are unwilling to do, even when given a solid roadmap of exactly all you need to do is show up every day, do this, this, and this for a year, for 2 years. Like, it is not that. It is not complicated at all. And yet, they won't do it. And that's one of the reasons that free stuff is garbage. Because you put no value on it, you're not going to do anything with it. You get like a free ebook, free PDF, whatever. You download that bad boy, you're just going to skim through it and not going to do anything with it. Versus the person that pays $1,000 for it is probably going to be a lot more likely to act on it. But even people that pay a lot of money for stuff, they often still will not follow through on the simple things that they need to do every single day.
Still fail because they lack discipline. Even
because
me,
they lack
with
discipline.
my monumental
Boom.
powers, I can't make a quitter successful. It doesn't matter how good I am. It doesn't matter how easily I make it for them to succeed. It doesn't matter how compendious and
So
concise and powerful the real world is. It doesn't matter how much I text them and motivate them, how many emergency meetings I do to try and talk to them and hype them up, how much motivation I give them. It doesn't matter what I do. If they are a quitter, guess what they're going to do? They're going to quit. No matter how simple the map is to read, no matter how fast the Ferrari is, somewhere along the drive, the sun's going to get in their eyes.
I knew that.
Sit there and go, I don't like this, this is hard, and they're going to quit. Quitters are the number one type of people that nobody can help. If you're a quitter, I can't help you, life can't help you, God himself cannot help a quitter. So if you lack discipline, you lack the very basic building block to any type of success which exists on the planet. By every single metric which can be measured with science, you are going to stay a loser and a failure. The key is to keep training. If you train hard every single day, you don't have to worry about a little bit of vitamin C. It's true. If you don't train and you don't smoke, you're still going to be a pussy.
Yes.
The answer is always hard work. As soon as you are granted life, you are guaranteed death. You are all conscious.
Guaranteed
that could end
death.
tomorrow, that could end in 100 years. But the time between the beginning of your consciousness and the end of it is completely up to you. Training is never the wrong decision. If you're in jail, you should train. If you are free, you should train. If you are rich, you should train. If you are poor, you should train. If you smoke, you should train. If you don't smoke, you should train. If you drink, you should train. If you don't drink,
I think he
should
thinks
train.
you should train.
You cannot escape that hard work is always the correct decision. There is no time in any scenario when working hard is going to be the wrong answer. You should always try your very best in all things.
True.
I will smoke 10 cigars a day and beat the shit out of you because I train harder than you can possibly fathom. Pain is an extremely important part of the equation. Pain is the elixir of success. When people say this bad thing happened to me and I'm suffering, I say good. It is pain which is required. It's one of the elements in the chemical reaction. If the chemical reaction requires 5 particular distinct compounds, and you have 4 and you're missing 1, it simply doesn't work. Pain for a man is one of the most important elements in becoming successful. Batman is Batman because they killed his parents. If they did not kill his parents, he would not be Batman. You're supposed to suffer.
Reality
You're supposed
here.
to take that pain. The worst thing that can happen to you as a man is you live a life with no pain in it. To be born into a rich family and have a nice, easy life and be given money, and you don't have to go to the gym and not have to train because you have bodyguards and sit around
and
like
you see people like that too, that are just, I mean, you're like, you look at them and you're like, you have everything. How could you be depressed? Right? And that's why they have no purpose. There's no purpose and no difficulty. And how much fun is it with no difficulty, with things on easy mode? You think that you want it. You think that you want that, but if you had it, it would be garbage. You would hate it.
You're going to be miserable and unhappy and a drug addict buying prostitutes. You're only going to have women who adore you. You're only going to feel confident in yourself and feel happy when you've been through hell and come out the other side. The pain is required.
Yeah.
And you'll often notice that people who are better than you are people who have suffered more than you have suffered. So, the person who is waiting for you, he requires your motivation. It also requires huge amounts of pain. So when bad things happen to you, do not sit at home and lament. Do not feel sorry for yourself. Instead, look in the mirror and say, thank you, God, for giving me one of the ingredients that is needed for the chemical concoction that is going to turn me into a superhero. Because pain is an extremely important one. In fact, it's one of the most important ones for a man. Everything is war. All of it. Sitting in the commute without losing your patience is war. Trying to find a way to escape your slave job is war. Keeping your wife happy and your children inspired is war. Training to become stronger than before is war. It is all war, and it cannot be avoided. And I'll tell you why it's war. Because war,
you know, I'm gonna let him finish this, and then
war is 2 opposing sides trying to achieve the same goal. 2 opposing sides want the same land or the same influence over X land. And the car you want, the Ferrari, you're not the only person who wants it. The reason it's so expensive is because others people want it. The girl you want, the beautiful woman, everyone wants her. It is war. It is competition. Everything about life as a man is war. It is conflict because you are competing against the other men who want it the same, which is why discipline is such an important thing, which is why you must take the pain and add it to the concoction.
I really like this idea of everything being a war. And because it helps with the everything day to day, right? So like you said, like your wife and kids, the Ferrari that you want, the job that you want, the life that you want, the success that you want, everything that you want, even the day-to-day things, like you said, like sitting in the commute and fighting to stay patient is war. And I like that because in war, you have to think strategically. You cannot let up. You have to be constantly aware. As soon as you lose focus, you'll lose the battle. You'll lose the war. And so thinking about that every day, I would imagine, makes him stay sharp. And that's something that helps me stay sharp too, personally, is thinking about things like as challenges. I could probably adopt that idea of war and make it even better. So that'll be something for me, right? Let's do this.
To become as formidable as possible. Life is war. This idea that you can go through life as a man and avoid war is probably the biggest mistake that most men make, because it is impossible for you to achieve anything significant without war. Running a business is war. Running a hotel, running a restaurant, running an online company, it's war. Training is war. Life as a man is war. You need to wake up and view it exactly as what it is. Everything I want, other people want. Everything I desire, other men are trying to get. This is a war, and I must outcompete them. That is the best possible mental model you can have. Even in jail, it was a war for who could stay most calm. A war who could control their mind the best. A war for who could suffer the least. That is war. I was surrounded by people who lost their minds and I refused. It was a battle and I was successful.
You will lose your mind in prison. Most people will.
And a never-ending battle is the constant of the human condition. Evolution requires pain. While others complain that they do not feel happy enough, I'm happy I'm struggling. I don't want to be happy. I want to be great. This is the beauty of life as a man. You understand? I don't care. I'm happy to be struggling. I wanted to fight. You wanted to win. I wanted to fight. That's the difference. You're concerned with winning. I wanted to just fight. And we're fighting. That is the beauty of life as a man, to be great. If you concern yourself only with being happy, you are once again acting like a female or a child. Happiness is fleeting. It doesn't even matter if you're concerned only with the hedonism of happiness. You're going to drink alcohol and go to parties and go to festivals and take drugs. I want to be happy. Who cares? I want to be great. I want to be great all of the time. And let me ask you a question as a man at home, genuinely, truthfully. Would you rather be a loser who's always smiling, a happy loser, or would you rather be a stressed winner? Because I'll tell you something about winners. Most of them are stressed.
We are stressed.
We are stressed. Tristan comes in the side. We are stressed.
Khan was stressed when his messenger turned up after a 4-week ride with updates from the battlefront of Iran. I'm sure he was stressed by what he read. Even if it was very good, even if it all looked fantastic, he started to feel stressed. Okay, well now maybe I need to go to Iran. How long is it going to take me to get there? Maybe we need to send more horses. Maybe we need to colonize her. He felt stress because the beauty of life as a man is to be great. So you have to sit here and ask yourself, do you want to be a happy loser that's insignificant? Nobody knows you exist. Women don't respect you. Men don't respect you. Nobody cares if you live or die, but you get to smile all the time. Or do you want to be one of the most important people on the planet with a little bit of stress? I am brilliant because I've decided to be brilliant. And if I have to sacrifice happiness to be brilliant, then that's fine. You know what the great thing about it is? You know, it's amazing what God gives, how the whole world becomes full circle. If you stop caring about being happy and you start caring instead about being great, guess what you end up being?
Great.
You'll get what you focus on.
Happy. You end up happy if you forget about happiness and try to become great. You will never be successful.
It's about
if
purpose,
you're concerned about being happy, so
not just being happy. Yeah.
I like to consider myself a wise old man, and I'm trying my best to
Bro's like 35, but okay.
And instigate a revolution amongst the youth where men take absolute self-accountability and they believe in themselves and they take responsibility for absolutely everything. As a man, you are most formidable if everything is your fault. If it rains outside and you get wet, that is still your fault.
That is your fault.
Can you control the rain? No. Could you have brought an umbrella? Yes.
Boom. 100% responsibility. 100%.
And by doing this, you take absolute self-accountability, which allows you to...
All right, let me touch on that really quick. Absolute self-accountability. Absolute. Now, everything might not be your fault. It's not your fault that it's raining. But it is your responsibility to not get wet. It is your responsibility to be prepared and to be ready. And things happen that may not be your fault. But it is always 100% of the time, your responsibility. Something bad happens, it's your responsibility to pick up your pieces, to pick yourself up mentally, physically, whatever happened. Always. Can't stress that enough.
Build a mental model in which you will find solutions, 1. 2, avoid trouble, because you know that anything bad happens to you is your fault. And 3, be the most fearsome competitor possible, because we're living in a very competitive world nowadays amongst the elites. The people who understand that you're living inside of a fish tank are trying very hard to get out. And you have to make sure that you can outrun some of them if you want to escape. It's an age-old adage. If a bear is chasing a group of people, you do not have to be the fastest one. You just have to be faster than the slowest. The slowest person is going to die. So as long as you're ahead of the majority of people, you stand a very good chance of avoiding slavery. Being a powerful man isn't always about furious anger and instilling fear. As enemies attempt to attack your energy and lower your vibration, understand this. Power is untouchable. Power may notice, but it doesn't care. Sometimes power is simply not giving a fuck. Being a powerful man isn't always about furious anger and instilling fear, meaning sometimes it is. You need to retain the capability to instill fear with furious anger. A man who cannot do that is not a man. It is one of the cards you need to have in your deck. However, More often than not, when you're in a true position of power, you will play the alternate card, which I'm describing here as simply not caring.
Do not
How can
care
you not give
at
a fuck about
all.
things? So I'll tell you how. If you're filthy rich, and you have a strong network of people around you who you trust, and you have a good family, and you have beautiful children, and you have women who love you, and you have beautiful supercars, you live with your best friends in a compound, you have armed guards, and you're proud of yourself, and you're strong, and you train hard every day, and you're monumentally successful, and all of your dreams come true, and if you want something, you can instantly snap it up. You want a Pagani, you want a Bugatti, you want a $25 million apartment, anything you want, you buy. It's very easy to not give a shit about the opinions of people who don't have one fraction of your success. And what these people are
Makes
trying to
sense.
do is drag me, I'm using me as an example, but we can also use it for you. When you have true power, they're trying to drag you down. They're not trying to elevate themselves. They're trying to drag you down, which is a very different thing. Because it's amazing how God rewards those who are trying to build and create and elevate, and how it punishes those who are simply trying to destroy and be spiteful and negative. And these people are going to dedicate hours and hours and millions of hours of their life towards a certain cause.
Thank you.
To try and drag people down who they cannot affect because they're already too powerful and too large.
Yeah.
And they're wasting their own human experience, and they're not progressing or advancing themselves in any way. They will stay brokies, and we will stay
They
rich
will
forever.
stay
So the
brokies.
lesson here
They
is
will
that
stay
you need to get to a
brokies.
position where ignoring people is a move in which you're guaranteed success. You can ignore
Yeah.
people completely, and they are benefiting you, and that comes from a position of power. And I think a lot of you at
Boom.
home right now,
Power.
you may not be in our position, but if you're already working hard, you're already going to the gym, you're already training, you make sure that you're getting as much muscles as possible, as much money as possible, you're dedicated, you don't sleep in, you don't waste your time, you don't smoke weed, you don't play video games, you're focused on trying to become fantastic as a person, you can just ignore that girl. That girl who broke your heart
Who
or cheated on
cares?
you, just ignore her. The most powerful move you can make is ignore her. Yeah, you could yell at her. Yeah, you could try and make her scared of you, blah, blah, right? That's not going to work. The powerful move is just to completely ignore her
Yep.
because you're on your ascent. She is likely on her descent. She likely has no intention of improving herself, no intention of becoming richer, no intention of becoming better looking. Time is against her. As she gets older, she's going to lose her looks. You're going to continue your ascent, and she's going to have to watch you for the rest of her life be the man that she could have been with that she's no longer good enough for. The best thing you can do is simply ignore her. That is the powerful move. And it's the same with also men. It's not even a gendered argument. There's men who want to be your friends right now who
Non-reactivity, being non-reactive, is a power move. Okay? You don't have to be big and bad and strong and, like he says, ferocious and vicious and mean and all that stuff. Often, being non-reactive is even, not only is it a power move, but it's more disrespectful to people like that because they want your attention, they want your reaction, and you don't care. You could not care less. Who cares about you? Like if you think about this, the lion doesn't even care about an ant. It's nothing. Pays him no mind. He tries to crawl. Who cares? Don't nobody care, dude.
wanted to be your friend.
Silly analogy,
Something wrong
but
to you.
you know,
And if you're on the right
you get it.
path, doing the right things, karma, God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, is going to teach them a lesson for simply failing to be a good person to you while they had the chance. But when you have a whole bunch of money, you take care of the people you love. And that's the masculine prerogative. And even my brother and I, anyone who's been loyal to us, who's on our team, we monumentally reward. And everyone who ever displayed cowardice or sold us out or made mistakes massively regrets it because they see how well we treat the people who are close to us. If you lack somewhere, excel somewhere else. Counter your weaknesses by honing other capabilities. If you're ugly, become filthy rich. If you're poor, be as strong
And get
as an
jacked.
ox. Life is unfair.
Yeah.
The primary focus of your energies is to balance the books.
And there's two different ways you could interpret that. You can, obviously, increase the attributes that you are lacking. If you have the ability to train, because a lot of people don't. Some people are born without arms and legs, but you, with 2 arms and 2 legs, are sitting at home jerking off the Pornhub, flabby and fat. If you have the ability to train, you should be doing it. But also, you know, there are some
Flabby
things that
and
some
fat.
people are just better at, and you can counteract that problem by teaming up with people who compensate for your weaknesses. People who are strong in areas where you are weak, and you team up with people where you are strong in areas where they are weak. I don't think between the people in this house and our group of friends, we lack anything.
Correct.
Anything. Literally anything. We can sit as a group and have a conversation about anything with anyone everyone in the world and give useful insight and change people's lives for the better, because although I am not perfect, our team compensates one for each other.
And that's the point of brotherhood. So excel in one area if you lack in others. I have people say to me, Andrew, I'm short. What do? I'm short. Okay, God made you short. Fine, good. Doesn't matter. You can't change it. What you can do is become as strong as an ox and become filthy rich and monumentally important and extremely influential. You can do that. People say, I'm poor. You should be strong. Oh, I'm strong, but I don't have any money. Okay, then teach others to be strong.
Yes.
There's always a way you can take your advantages and use them. And by teaming up with other men, other people, you can build a team in which there are no weaknesses. So if you have a disadvantage, you also have somewhere God has given you a distinct advantage over others. And it is your duty to excel in that realm. It is your duty to become so monumentally influential and powerful within that specific criteria in which you have the capability to be brilliant, that your weaknesses no longer appear because they can be simply overshadowed by your network or overshadowed by your absolute competence. By constructing the correct mindset, you can be in the exact same scenario you're currently in, living the exact same life with a different mental model in which you view the world, and you will not only feel more powerful, you will be more powerful, you'll achieve more amazing things, you will be greater, you will be happier. With the same car, the same woman, the same house, the same income, the same everything, but your mind changes the lens in which you view the world.
Okay, let me touch on this because this is what I'm all about right here. It's not about the external things. It's all the internal. When you start living in alignment with who you want to be, that character that he's talking about this whole entire freaking time, when you start living in alignment with that, you feel confident, you feel powerful, and you are powerful mentally. You are powerful internally. You might not have all the money and the status and the prestige and all of that stuff yet, but you will carry yourself differently. You will carry yourself with power. You will carry yourself with confidence because it's not anything external. Nothing external matters. That's all arrogance. It's all fake. The only thing that matters is the internal state, the mental model, the mindset, the mentality, the state of mind that you carry with you at all times. That is what makes you powerful and confident.
Lenses change things. Rose-tinted glasses, perhaps dark glasses. You can put glasses on, change the lens, and you can view the world differently by changing how
Paradigm
your mind
shift
is constructed and put together and the way you view the world. That is the point of mental Aikido.
You know, one of my
and then we're done. Okay, fair enough. All right, I just went off on the end right there. 100% agree with that. I love that. It's all internal. I'm going to jump off now because we've been going for like 32 minutes. Congratulations if you made it this far. I will catch you on the next video.